My name's Eli Rin, and I'm glad to be in this room with y'all today on Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. May we continue to set each other free. Um, I wanted to, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a Juneteenth offering this year, at least like a communal one. And I was thinking over the weekend before I decided to just on how deeply moved I've been over the past sort of year or so, um, doing a class I do on Sundays with the Bumi Sparsha community called Mother Harriet Liberation Practice. And it's a session we do each week where we work with, that's what we'll be doing a little bit of today, but where we work with Mother Harriet, building a connection to her as an abolitionist lineage elder, as an ancestor, and building our connection with her kind of frequency of fierce clarity and conviction. And so as I just introduced the space to y'all, welcome to the Underground Railroad. As simple as that. We're back on the station. We're back on the train. And so, knowing that this was never one physical thing, the Underground Railroad was a project of care, of people, of community, of footsteps on the ground, of heartbeats and fear and sweat. And as we face this kind of crumbling society, world, this kind of death into rebirth era, I think there's a lot of empowerment and grounding in choosing to be here right now and actively choosing to try to get free in these conditions that we have, in identifying and naming, especially as this room of just all Black people, identifying our present day plantations, literally the blood-soaked earth beneath us, and starting from there, tilling that, healing that, washing it clean with community and connection and remembrance has been the focus of my practice for the past couple of years, and it's really been powerful for me, and I have really been grateful to be able to share and do this with other people. It wouldn't be anything but daydreams if it was just me. I'd just be on my little mountains and thinking my life away, which is lovely and could be nice. But for me, I'm much more of a off the mountain type of, Buddhism, coming as an abolitionist first for my, you know, background or personal identifier. Um, I think it can be really radical to explore how the imaginary, how the visualized, how the thought up, the dreamed up, and the actual converge, and where we get to make choices in those convergences, how we get to inspire ourselves to dream bigger, and how that can lead to just living bigger, more expansive, more connected, less fear. Those sorts of things are what I really learned from Mother Harriet. And so today we'll go through just a 40 or so, 45-minute practice. Everything I offer will be opt-in, opt-out. So you need to take a break, leave, come back, turn off your camera, come on camera, use the chat, whatever feels good to you. I hope you use this time to really tend to yourself and to let your needs arise. My goal in not a goal, but an invitation in any practice that I hold close is to let it start from the experience rather from the narrative. So if I'm in my head, that's okay, but just letting myself and my needs that are arising guide the way, letting me move, get up, sit down, lay down, whatever feels right in the moment. May I feel safe enough and may I trust myself enough to follow it. Something the last kind of little rambling. I can really get to talking at the beginning of these things, so I'll cut myself off. But the last little thing I'll add is one thing that we can kind of feel into over this next hour is, what does self-trust mean? Right? Do I believe in my prayers? That has been a grounding question of this whole practice for me. How do I build self-trust? How do I trust my actions throughout the day? What do I need to get there, right? It looks different for all of us, so it doesn't really matter what I personally need. But for you, what does self-trust feel like? Is it scary? Why? Just open up that door of investigation. Is it comfortable? You know, what have you done to get there? How can you spread that into something else? That sort of self-trust that comes from testing and embodying your experience of liberation. Someone like Mother Harriet, who not only freed herself from enslavement, but came back again and again to shine the light of her freedom so that others could believe they could be free too, realize they were already free and leave with her. What kind of conviction does it take to go back, to know your innate freedom that deeply when your whole visible material world is set up to tell you it's not? It's not true. You're not free. You're not the same. You're not worth it. How do we tap into something more expansive than the systems we understand and see today? And today, perhaps, with Mother Harriet's blessing, we can invite her into the room, have a little incense going. Feel free to offer at your homes if you'd like to. But we'll start by just taking a couple deep breaths together, inhaling and letting it go. Take a moment just to notice how you feel right now. Are you here right now? What do you need? Today we'll be moving through little grounding and visualization before singing a spiritual together, doing the core mantra practice of Ma Harriet practice, and then checking in at the end. Anything you need will show up in the chat. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. We'll begin by feeling into our seat, perhaps noticing the weight of our clothes against us, the temperature of the air around us. Perhaps we feel into the seat beneath us, noticing not just the cushion, the floor, the building, but the earth slowly rising up to hold us. You might take a second to notice where you feel your breath today. Perhaps trailing in the back of the nose and throat. Maybe you feel your lungs expanding in each direction, gently filling the rib cage and releasing. Perhaps today you feel your breath deep in your belly. slowly filling your center and then letting go. Today, as we sit, we take a moment to feel into our heart space, perhaps placing a palm on the chest or just imagining a soft glowing light, slightly warming. We take a few breaths in and out of the heart space, imagining the wind coming in through the nostrils, swirling through the torso and clearing out on the exhale as we open up the chest, the heart space, perhaps even physically opening up, stretching out. We start to invite whoever feels like a protector into this space in our hearts, this space in this room. Ma Harriet might show up. Our guardians, deities, comrades, friends, our capable and caring ancestors start to slowly arise. Human or non-human, the very earth itself arises to greet us, seeing only its own face. You and your ancestors, Mother Harriet, we take a moment to breathe in this soft light. We start to imagine that we're sitting at the base of a tree in front of a nice, easy flowing river. The water rushes by. You hear the sound of the leaves dancing in the wind, the breeze rolling across your cheek, your forearms. You feel the warmth of those that have come before you, resting in your heart space. You feel the slightly damp earth beneath the palms of your feet, making a little impression of you, seeing you in your footprints. And as this water rushes by, as we sit here, you might imagine the sun slowly sets, the moon rises, and we start to bask in this cool moonlight. A lot of deities have colors associated with them, and we've been working with moonlight for Mother Harriet. A light that shows you the night it wants to, choosing its shadows and its peaks, that touches us all and mixes with the various blacks and browns of us, glowing in our own different way. Light that we call moonlight that is really just the power of the sun, bouncing, reaching ferociously towards us, reflecting off the moon. Like Mother Harriet reaching through time to put a soft palm on our cheek, we sit here by the river. We gently move into the first practice of singing together. I'll put the words in the chat, but we sing spirituals together, as well as using mantras as a way to kind of, for me, in my practice, to honor all of my ancestry and my lineages. And so today we're just singing the chorus of Wade in the Water, or the refrain. But it's just wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble these waters. And I will sing it once through, and then feel free to join in, to hum, to move, to use it as a mantra to let the slow vibrations of your body slowly emit, reaching out into the earth. You can imagine yourself at the shore of this river, tapping into what our ancestors must have felt. Running, Harriet would sing, wade in the water to let people know, clear your scent. There's people tracking you, right? There's dogs, there's slave catchers. You need to go through the river, and asking somebody brought over by boat into enslavement to escape via water is no small undertaking. That is an undertaking of trust and of deep knowing, of choosing to get free right now, in this body, with this breath. And so as we sit by the river, with the exhilaration of knowing and the sorrow of knowing, all of it wrapped in one, we let the physical sound waves of singing, right? Not just a voice, but a literal physical sound wave coming out. We let that fill our room. We let that fill our timeline. We let that vibrate through our blood, through our DNA, through Mother Harriet's voice. We start to hear ourselves. And we'll go through this quite a few times like a mantra. So join in, listen, do whatever feels right to you. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble these waters. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble these waters. in and out. Perhaps we return to that spot by the river and we rise from our seat. We walk forth into those waters, feeling the cool water touch our feet, our shins, our calves. We just take a second to sit with this river, knowing it runs home always towards the ocean. Knowing most of us, these bodies of earth and water, is river too. And whatever our troubled waters are, whatever our personal front lines are, may we be connected and sustained. May we be bold enough to remember our freedom and act in alignment with that freedom. May we call for help when we need it and know that we are carried. We listened to Cynthia Rivos sing Stand Up at the beginning of this, and it ends with I go to prepare a place for you, which were Mother Harriet's last words. I go to prepare a place for you, she tells us. This station of the Underground Railroad being birthed in our grief and our pain and our sorrow and our joy and our divinity. Can we trust ourselves to build that place? To know it has been prepared. It has been done again and again. Remembering our freedom is not new. And liberation has always been here for us. If we can see it clearly. And so we have 5 communal prayers that we recite every week that are in the chat now. Feel free to just repeat after me, or you can read along. Please take a posture that feels like holding or offering to you, whether that's hands out, palms together, just connecting with yourself, an internal space of offering. May all beings be free. May those suffering experience liberation. May we hold each other through revolution. May we abolish everything that is not love. May we rebirth a free world. Ashe. Swaha. May it be so. May we rebirth a free world, right? May that begin by tapping into this breath that rebirths itself again and again, right? May I demystify the death of my previous selves and let go of them so I can embrace the me right now and truly love them for who they were, by not trying to merge them with someone they're not, right? May I be bold enough to hold the expanse of who I am, of how I, a black person born on these soils that have been stolen and built by genocide and enslavement, may I know my narrative is not limited. I am not this moment in time. I am the earth giving birth to itself again and again. I am the forest growing back after the fire raises it. It's just expressions again and again. And what I can do, me personally, is work to clarify my understanding of this expression so that my freedom is so clear to me that people can't help but get clear about their own freedom too, right? You can't help but feel it, right? Not saying feel me, but like when you meet people that you love and that you care about, when you hug your like dearest friend, you feel that indescribable thing, that thing that you don't even have to put words to because it wouldn't help anyways. Nothing's as big as that. Nothing's as open as that. That kind of love when a baby you love puts their hand on your cheek for the first time and sees you. That knowing is what I want to, that's what I want to ground into. That's the well of love that my grief has to rest in, that my rage has to rest in, so that I am not overcome. So that I may actually tend to my grief and feel my rage, not be scared of it. Because I trust in my prayers. I'm trying to. I'm trying to believe it. When I say free Palestine, I want to believe that as a true thing. When I say Congo will be free, or when I think about Haiti and we organize together and we move, when I just think about us, like, I'm more and more believing in the truth of that freedom because I see it and I feel it. The stories aren't just stories, the lessons aren't just lessons. Mother Harriet's life isn't just a life I can aspire to. It's something I'm trying to feel in my bones. Because it's there. We all come from people who got free. And so we'll move into the closing section of this practice, which is pretty amorphous, so it changes all the time. But the closing of today, which will be a mantra offering. So again, sticking with sound, we'll be using the mantra from the Heart Sutra. I'll put that in the chat. But that mantra is Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha, which translates to gone beyond, gone completely beyond. Awakening, so be it. That's one translation, and this Heart Sutra is really important to me. It's really important to a lot of people. It's pretty popular, or I should say widespread. But one of the real meanings of this sutra to me, it's one I've worked with for a really long time, is really thinking about form and emptiness, thinking about duality, thinking about impossibility and possibility, and knowing it's neither, it's both, it's yes and, it's way bigger than I could ever think. And what I mean by that is, like, my deepest dreams of liberation, true liberation is even beyond that. My deepest ideas as someone striving for abolition, like, what I'm dreaming up, there's even more for us out there. There's even deeper care. There's more freedom. There's more connection. There's more returning home to land. And so, not to say that, I can't dream big enough. No, to use that as a continual motivator to dream bigger, because I know I've been set up with a limited circumstance, right? So may I be inspired to go beyond, right? And another translation of that, the awakening part, gone completely beyond, is gone to the other shore. Some people translate it that way. And that's another thing I like to invoke, especially as we work with rivers, is literally, Harriet Tubman was called Moses. She parted seas. How do we clear the way for ourselves, right? How do we go to that other shore? How can we, as a community, as a people who know true expansive joy and grief, rage and play and creativity, how do we bring all that we need to that river so that when we are ready to cross it. We have all of our tools, we have our people, and we're ready to arrive together. And so, as an offering to the ancestors, you might imagine yourself, you might settle back into your seat, perhaps checking in on your posture. Does it still feel sustainable? Do you feel comfortable? Whatever that means to you right now. Perhaps you take a clearing breath or two. You might come back to this river, this time wading all the way out, waist deep, letting our feet float up, and perhaps imagining just resting on the surface, the water just slowly carrying you. You might feel your belly slightly expand and contract with your breath. Feel your shoulders dropping away from the ears, your fingers untensed, floating. And as we rest in these waters, as we wade, you might take a moment again to let the moonlight slowly bask over the exposed parts of us, dancing over the water, our cheeks. And again, singing with the wind, almost as if the forest is singing to you, and the sound just slowly floats out of your mouth. We offer our yearning for liberation to the ancestors. We offer our pain, our struggle. We offer our joy and remembrance. They've done their work. They're just receiving the transmission of energy. They don't need to carry the weight. And so, however big anything feels in us, we breathe it in and we let it arise, trusting we have the space to hold it. And then we breathe it out, knowing we do not have to hold anything that is not meant to be held. We may let it slip through our fingers like water running through the river. We may let it bathe our whole bodies, relishing in it before letting it pass. And we offer the mantra. Gati gati paragati parasamgati bodhisvaha gati gati breath in and out. And just take a second to rest in this sound, in the lingering resonance of your own voice, your heartbeat. We dedicate this practice to all beings. May all beings be free. May the ancestors hear our prayer. May our calls for help and solidarity and community be heard and answered. And may we recognize the fierce conduction of our own spirit. Like lightning, what alchemizes us into action, into love. May we ground into that, knowing that that is the energy that it takes to be a conductor on the Underground Railroad. That we might join our paths to find that place that Mother Harriet has prepared for us. May we all get free, right now. May we see the end to all carceral systems. And may we be safe and cared for enough to tend to our arising needs in every moment.